All you do is you prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off.
Playoffs? What talk about? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We're talking about practice.
That you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
If you want to crown them, you crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull Ranch, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you hit subscribe, leave a comment. Let's do it. Also, if you leave a comment and you're subscribed, you'll be entered to win the Justin Jefferson autographed jersey. I got the 2750 drawing coming up. And at 3,000, we'll give the Justin Jefferson autographed jersey. So make sure you comment. Tell me what you think of Sports Illustrated. Most likely 2024 NFL draft bust. Now, I don't know if this was other people did videos on this. I haven't been able to watch a whole lot of YouTube. I saw a post of someone sharing me a screenshot of SI.com and their top 5 NFC busts. They also did one for the AFC, but this is who they think are the most likely to bust out of the 2024 draft class. So make sure you comment. Tell me what you think of this, man, and you're entered to win the Justin Jefferson autographed jersey. Let's go. Let's skull. All right, guys. Let me bring it on. So we got 5 2024 NFL draft busts, most likely to be bust in the NFC. This is my first time reading it. As usual, I like to do this. And this is my reaction live as we're doing it. So the pressure is on for JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, I wonder who's first. I don't know. Gilberto Manzano. Go find this guy. Tell me what you think of it. May 2nd, 2024. This is my least favorite story to write because who truly knows 1 week after the draft which top picks won't do well in the NFL. The draft is mostly a crapshoot and not every pick pans out. Those are the things I tell myself to feel better about writing this story again. But before we continue, I got to hold the L on listing the Detroit Lions running back Jamar Gibbs as a potential bust from last year's draft. The guy's a stud and I know nothing. Okay, now I feel better about writing this story. Make yourself feel better, man. Make yourself feel better. It wasn't easy finding 5 players for this story because we tend to associate busts with players selected inside the top 15 in the NFC. Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze could have immediate success with how well the Bears have built their roster the past 2 seasons. Can't add Marvin Harrison Jr. because he has makings of being a special wide receiver, and it's always difficult knocking offensive linemen because they tend to hit at a high rate, and about 10 were taken in the first round. Already making excuses. All right. But there's always pressure on every first-round pick, and we know not every 32 picks become started in the NFL. Here are 5 most likely draft busts from NFC. Jordan Morgan, offensive lineman, Green Bay Packers. Good. Let him bust. Let him bust because he's a Packer. Packers got it right by adding a top offensive lineman with the number 25 pick to help Jordan Love, who enjoyed a breakout 2023 season. But I can't help but wonder whether the Packers selected the right offensive lineman. They needed a left tackle after cutting Dave Bakhtiari, but they selected Morgan, whom many draft experts viewed as a better guard than tackle. If they wanted a true tackle, the Packers could have selected Tyler Gutten, who went 4 picks later to the Dallas Cowboys. Perhaps the Packers favored Morgan's versatility, and they know he can play left tackle if needed. He was Arizona's starting left tackle the past few seasons. Green Bay does need help in the interior of the offensive line. The arrival of Morgan, the team has options of Rasheed Walker, isn't the long-term answer at left tackle. It's difficult to knock the pick, but maybe the Packers pass on prospect with more upside at tackle. Good. Well, let's hope he busts. He's a Packer, so who cares? Michael Penix Jr., QB, Atlanta Falcons. It's somewhat strange adding Penix to this list because he might not play for a few seasons, but succession plans don't always work out with Trey Lance. San Francisco 49ers being the most recent example. Lance waited to play for a year before eventually replacing Jimmy Garoppolo as the starter Injuries occurred. The 49ers stumbled on Brock Purdy, and Lance is now a backup in Dallas. Obviously, he says Atlanta's situation could turn out much differently than what played out in San Francisco. But this partnership, well, they have an established starter. So, and obviously Kirk Cousins is better than Garoppolo. But this partnership is already off to a rocky start after failing to inform Kirk Cousins of the pick in a timely fashion. What if Penix is thrust to play immediately if Cousins suffers an injury? Now, keep in mind here, Atlanta, are they going to tell? I mean, they told they were going to be looking at a quarterback. Kirk said, Kirk, through his agent, I guess, said they weren't, they didn't tell us that in the first round. But are you going to tell your quarterback who have it leaked to his agent that you're taking a pick at 8? So there's no timely manner of informing someone of the pick. They did it on the clock. You're not going to do it before because you're not going to play your hand. So silly insinuation there. What if Penix is thrust into play immediately if Cousins suffers an injury? That's the added benefit of drafting him. That is the only benefit of drafting him, at least for these first 2 years. Will the Falcons prepare for the scenario by having Penix take snaps with the first team offense during training camp and regular season practices? If the Falcons truly want to make this succession plan, they need to put themselves in awkward situations to prepare for all scenarios. He's going to get snaps because Kirk Cousins coming off an injury. So the preseason most likely will have reps for him, most likely. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, New York Giants. We were worried that JJ McCarthy might go here. They had a nice smoke screen. They really looked at JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy said he visited the New York Giants with the most. So they really did look at him. But Malik Neighbors, probably the better fit if they're wanting to give Danny Dimes a guy to throw to. They have very little talent in the wide receiver position there. He goes, I absolutely love this pick for the Giants because you can't teach the type of explosiveness Neighbors possesses. The past 7 years, we have seen various teams attempt to draft the next Tyreek Hill, but only a few have come close to that, including the Cincinnati Bengals with Jamar Chase and the 49ers with Deebo Samuels. It's a luxury to have a player who creates matchup nightmares for defenses and one who's capable of turning quick completions into 60-yard touchdowns. Would be nice. I would like a second guy who could do that. Oh, yeah, we got Jordan Addison, but I would like a bigger receiver. This guy also lacks size, but there are a few risks with adding Neighbors. He lacks size at 6 feet and 200 pounds, which could be a factor if teams prevent him from utilizing the blazing speed. As for the biggest concern, will the Giants help Neighbors reach his highest potential? They have a quarterback issue with Daniel Jones. They might not have enough weapons to take the attention away from Neighbors. Darius Slayton is the number 2 option. The Giants are going to need coach Brian Daboll to design creative plays, especially if Jones has another pedestrian season. He was hurt, and he didn't have weapons. So give the guy a shot, but he's not a $40 million quarterback. Jaden Daniels, QB, Washington Commanders. By the way, thank you, Ed Donna Shell. The Giants fans love you for making him look good. The comparisons to Lamar Jackson are well-earned because Daniels is the only player in the FBS history to pass for at least 12,000 yards and rush for 3,000 yards. His athleticism likely set him apart from Drake May, especially with Coach Dan Quinn, knowing well how difficult it is to game plan for signal callers who can extend plays and gain yards on the ground. But Daniels, I showed the crescendo here. But Daniels has a slim frame at 210 pounds. Will need to learn how to avoid his hits in the NFL and develop precise timing on when he take off running. For the most part, Jackson has done that in the NFL, but he's his fair share of injuries. Also, Commanders haven't gotten much right since the 1990s, and they don't deserve the benefit of doubt just because they have new ownership and decision makers. If Daniels displays durability, we could definitely see the number 2 pick play up Jackson comparisons. And JJ McCarthy, QB of Minnesota Vikings, the number 1 2024 NFC bust out of the 2024 draft, according to SI.com. McCarthy might have the best surroundings among the first-round quarterbacks, including that Williams has in Chicago. The Vikings get the nod over the Bears because the coaching staff, led by Kevin O'Connell, has proven they can produce a dynamic offense, and they have Justin Jefferson. McCarthy does not have to be a star signal caller to turn the Vikings into a playoff team, but teams don't use top 10 picks on safe game managers. McCarthy received plenty of draft hype because he's a low volume of throws, and the run-heavy Michigan offense somehow gave him more upside because there's a bit of mystery as to how much the 21-year-old can improve. He doesn't have the skill set of May, the experience of Penix, and isn't as good a creator as Williams and Daniels. So let me read that last part. Because I have something to say about that. He doesn't have the skill set of May. True. I mean, he has. But what? What skill set? Maybe he's a little taller, bigger. Doesn't have a stronger arm. He does, he doesn't have better decision-making process. So I don't know if May has better skill set. He just has physical traits that are maybe more ideal for a drop back, passer in the NFL. So maybe traits, not skill set, traits, physical traits makes more sense. The experience of Penix, yeah, I would say Penix got more experience. I've often said he was the number one guy I would say that would probably be able to start right away and succeed. Because of the because he sorry, I can't get over this cough. Because we are giving because he has the production, he has the experience, he can start right away. That's what I've always been saying. And isn't as good as the creators Williams and Daniels. Okay. Williams, it's all he does. He plays hero ball. So he does it more often. I don't know if he's any physically better at mobility than our guy, JJ McCarthy. Now, Daniels, obviously, he's a late, holy cow runner. So great. But JJ McCarthy is above average, if not good, if not great at mobility, scrambling. I said that was a superpower. Great. He honestly has that sixth sense that made me like him more than and being satisfied of not having to trade up and get a Drake May. I liked not having to do that and getting JJ McCarthy. Not a problem there because I knew his elite athleticism. I say it's elite. He has one of the highest 3-cone drills, which I equate to mobility or in shiftiness and scrambling ability than any other trait. And everybody that I've seen have a really good score in the 3-cone drill has been a very productive player in the NFL so far as me being a YouTuber. So anybody I've done a video on and I said, hey, look at this 3-cone drill, boom, they've been very productive. Now, obviously, with a QB now, he's got to be able to throw. So that is, that's the other half of the QB. And he was the number 2 arm, as far as power arm. And they measured it at the draft. He was one behind Joe Milton, 1 mile an hour behind Joe Milton. I think Milton was like 62. He was 61. So, and then I think a Penix or a Bo Nix were in the high 50s, like 58. Now, the only thing I didn't like about JJ McCarthy is 9-inch hands. That is a little bit bigger than Kenny Pickett. That is a little smaller than Dante Culpepper, who had a problem with possessing the football. So, that being said, JJ McCarthy being number 1, I think they're only doing it because he is a quarterback. Well, there are 3 quarterbacks on this list, of course, and they do fail at a high rate. So, I mean, he's just hedging his bet so that he'll be right because half the quarterbacks suck, and he thinks he's going to be right about it. But notice he didn't put Bo Nix. He's picked 12th. He thinks Bo Nix is a better chance of success than Daniels, Penix, and McCarthy. That's crazy. Hey, tell me what you think in the comments. Let him hear it. Go find him on Twitter. Let him hear it there. I know he's like I thinking he has to write this story. His name is Gilbert Manzano, Manzano. Tell me what you think in the comments. Skull Vikes. Let's go. Let's skull.
All you do is you prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We're talking about practice.
That you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
If you want to crown them, you crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.